How are you? Enzo DiCostanzo, clinical professor of economics and finance, St. Peter's University, Jersey City, New Jersey, coming to you tonight from Newark, as we normally do. We're continuing our completing of the accounting cycle videos, the second part of that. City of Newark, incorporated in 1836, home to about 285,000 people as of the 2017 census. Always wanted to give you something interesting about Newark as we talk about these, since this is where we're video taping this stuff from all the time. So there we go. So this is Watson, the Watson model, and it was very similar to the previous completing the accounting cycle model that we worked on last weekend, and we'll work on another version of that. Actually, this one will be a net loss problem, and we'll work on that today. So let's get to it. Okay, we started working last time on the completing the accounting cycle chapter, and I just want to repeat this. There's tabs at the bottom of these Excel sheets, and actually here's the assignment. Actually, this is probably all the assignment you'll have for the net present value chapter, because this was 8 parts. This was a lot of parts to this, and so I usually do a third of what you had with this. So I just did one assignment for the first chapter. Usually I have a couple, but now we'll just do one. And the accounting assignment will be probably coming next weekend, because we want to give you this week to view the 2 accounting cycle videos, which both of them will be about 2 hours each. So that's about 4 hours of viewing for that. And it's a lot of detail. See, in class, people are asking questions or settling in there. You can go much quicker with these videos. So 2 hours in video might be like 3 hours in class or something like that. So, just keep that in mind. But like I said, you can hit Control, page up, page down. Just got to be active. Control, page up, page down. You're clicking through all the tabs. Okay, so here's net present value. Here's completing the accounting cycle. I think we went over all the objectives last time, and we worked on Pioneer advertising and the adjusted trial balance and all the pieces to this as you went through this. So this was from last week. Okay, you already have this, and we have a video on this and all that. Our new problem is Watson answering service, and let's just quickly get to the book. I'm hitting Alt-Tab to toggle through everything. And this was, I think, it's telling us 178 with the PDF. I'm very fortunate in the sense we don't have a lot of versions of the accounting textbook, so I'm able to use it's generally matching, because we don't have 2 more versions than we need. It says at the end of the first month of operations, Watson answering service has the following adjusted trial balance, and you're given all the accounts, receivables, cash, etc., all the expenses. Complete the worksheet. Key the adjustments, start at the top, enter the income and net loss, prepare some financial statements, journalize the closing entries. Okay, so those are some of the pieces here. There's probably an answer to this. Yeah, I mean, they do have some sort of answers here. But like I said, we always go far further than that. There's other data here for the adjustments, and we're assuming 35,000 of the notes payable long term. So those are there's a lot of notes in dealing with this stuff. So yeah, we have all the answers here, which is good. But like I said, we want you to be able to do this in Excel, and like I said, you're going to have a significant assignment that in the next few days for these 2 chapters, or for these 2 videos for the completing the accounting cycle chapter. So just be prepared for that. But like I said, we're trial balance adjustments, adjusted trial balance, income statement, balance sheet, adjusting data. We're going to go through that process, and just telling you ahead of time, this is going to be a net loss is what this one's going to be. Okay, so just so you guys are aware of that. Okay. And you forgive me, but we'll be sharing the screen as we've been in the past, just to sort of keep my answers sort of nearby, so we're sure about what we're doing here. I worked on this in class this week, so this should be pretty smooth. There's nothing that popped out at this where I said, hey, there's a big problem, we need to deal with it. But yeah, we're pretty good. Okay. Yeah, you were started with, you're given these pieces here. You're given these initial pieces, and we're going to get those listed. And just for the folks who are new to sort of working with me, whenever you see the gray cells, that's we're going to be filling that in, type of a situation. Okay, and actually I have, as we're sitting here, I'm always trying to balance what you guys see and sort of what I do behind the scenes a bit. I have chapter 4. If you can hear the pages sort of flipping, I just have the book next to me, so we're not going to be, we don't have to toggle back and forth too much. Folks, you can go to Amazon and pick up the book. Okay, I'm sure not stopping you from doing it. 2012, I think it's copyrighted 2012. This particular one. Yeah, this is 2012. Okay, so you have that, and you can deal with that as you wish. Okay, so anyway, we're here. We have the cash numbers, the receivables, and we're going to enter this stuff into the. Like I said, we have it here as sort of a part of the answer, but even better, we may have some document like this, and obviously we're trying to, make sure that our numbers are adding up to what they should add up to. 5,400. We're going to go to cell AU 17. Receivables 2,800. Supplies 1,300. Prepaid 2,400. Equipment 60,000. 40,000. Which is right there. Accounts payable 2,400. Owner's capital 30,000. Drawings 1,000. Service revenue 4,900. Debit all the expenses 3,200. Salary and wage, utility 800. 400 advertising. Okay. You select all the gray. Hit Alt H N for no fill, or you can just click on it. That's the keyboard shortcut, Alt HHN. Again, if you don't have that, you can just click up here, no fill. That'll work. Okay. Go to the summation. Now, again, this is all sort of pre-formatted. All right, 77, 77. Yeah, okay. All pre-formatted. So, but blue font means an input. Black font means there's a computation. Bold, double underline means it's a total or subtotal or something like that. Okay, so you have all that. So that's the first piece. That's all pretty much similar to what you've seen. You have this adjustment data in here. Oops, we sort of left this in here. What is this? Yeah, with the supplies, you have to be careful with supplies. You start with 1,300 with the supplies, and just to get to this adjustment data, and it says you have 1,000 left. So if you have $1,000 left and you started with 1,300, you have to do the math. It's really 1,300 minus 1,000 gives you 300. Okay, that's just a computation, and that's AU17 is just up here. And if I'll just arrow, see how it's highlighted. So I'm in the edit mode in the cell, and it tells you where all the components to the cell come from. Okay, and this insurance just states it 200. That's just a statement. Depreciation expense just states it 900. Interest on the payable that's accrued during, again, the month. So these are all just giving you statements. I wish that it always worked that easily in reality, but in reality, when you do this for real, you have to compute all this stuff outside of maybe depreciation. Even that you could go through a computation for. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so now when you get to the adjustments here, you have to go through everything and sort of figure out, what's going on. Yeah, with supplies that we know it's 300. Arrow over. It's going to get written down. So we're going to credit that because it's a write down 300, and then you want to find supplies expense, which is right here, and type in 300. Okay, which is there and there. All right, so you have those two. happening. Insurance is going to get written down by 200, which is right there. And you have insurance expense 200, which is right. Again, that's all just stated. So again, if you just arrow down here, you can see we picked off this one. We picked off number 1 and number 2. Depreciation is 900. So you're going to look down here. Accumulated is 900. The contra asset, and then depreciation expense 900. Shift spacebar gives the horizontal highlight. Shift spacebar, horizontal highlight. Okay. Alt HHN. This is just to remind us that we've done these. And the last one is interest on the notes payable. So that's just the interest expense. 500 and then 500. Okay. Those are your 4 adjustments. You do those relatively quickly. The totals down here equals sum. Okay. Now I'm just doing the specific one so we don't have so much dead space that we cover, if you know what I mean. I don't want all those empty, all those empty cells. Part of the computation, there's no numbers in them, right? which is a minefield for problems, to put it mildly. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you've seen this before already. Okay, we had the trial balance, we had all the entries, the cash entries, the prepaid insurance entries. We had all those pieces. Then we had all the adjustments. Okay, now the next thing is to sum up what we're doing here. Now, if there's no change, you just carry over the cash. We didn't make any changes to cash, debit, or credit. Okay. Accounts receivable, same thing, no change. But with supplies, we had 1,300. We used 300. Okay, so like I said, try to make it so it makes sense for you as you do it. Prepaid insurance, 24, 200. Okay. This is 40,000. The table. Now, yeah, that's what you've borrowed. Now, you may be paying just the interest as you go along. We spent a whole chapter in the finance course going over how to deal with debt, and it's very complicated. The accountants always sort of take an easier view of it, or an easier version of everything. But we're just we're not paying back any principal. We're just paying back. It could be a combined payment too, where you just owe the 40,000 at the end, you pay off all the interest, or there's a combination of paying it back, a little bit of principal and some interest as you go. But we're just taking the high road on this. Accounts payable hasn't changed. Capital at this point is still 30,000. Drawings, which is like an expense, right? 1,000. 4,900. 32. All that. And those are all your adjustments. Alt HHN. Okay. Those are all your adjustments. Yeah, and you can see this gets pretty, this gets pretty long pretty quickly. So you want to be able to use that you want to be able to use the freeze pane to bring your labels over as you need them to be brought over. Okay, we did all that. This equals sum. Like I said, I'm doing just what I need to do. Okay. Sum. And what happened here? I think we missed something somewhere. Did we miss something? 3, because yeah, these are supposed to balance. And oh, the 60. Yeah, we missed the 60. We missed a big one. So put the 60 in for the equipment, and then just bring this in here. You can grab a corner like that. So there it is. Okay, so yeah, you got to make sure, like one little entry could throw off the whole subtotals. So yeah, so and I think in not too long of amount of time, trial balance adjustments, adjusted trial balance. Like I said, all of these answers are in the books. As I'm going, we're just taking over the numbers as we go. Okay, if there's no adjustment, then we just carry the number over. With the supplies, there was an adjustment. With the prepaid insurance, there was an adjustment. See how that works? Okay, and even with the credits, if these are just being brought over, there's no adjustments that are made. Okay, and here's the summations, and you just concentrate on where the numbers are. You could just do one big column. That'll work too. But like I said, this is a little bit better. What I just showed you a little bit better way. Okay, so yeah, we took care of the adjustments here. Okay, we took care of all this stuff. As a prepare worksheet, we're doing it. Balance sheet with 35,000 payable long term and 5,000. Now I added that little extra detail in there because with the notes payable, yeah, you're looking at 40,000 and 35 for long term. You know, you had to break that up. So this was not given in the textbook. I added that extra line, which is my value to you. I'm giving you the extra pieces as we go here. Income statements are next. Now we're going to get a little creative and complicated and all that type of thing. Okay, so what you need to do here is, yeah, what you need to do here is just take income, right? You're just going to take income, well, not unearned, but you want revenue. Here's search of it, because this particular chapter we still didn't get to the Home Depot chapter yet, or you know where it's we still didn't get to the chapter where it's merchandise. Just make sure you're on the right track with everything. Yeah, service revenue, that's right there. Okay, now then you just list all your expenses wherever they may be listed. Utilities, all these guys. Okay, which those are all those. Supply expenses here. Insurance expenses here. Depreciation expenses there. And interest expense is there. All the expenses that we have. So it's just income statement, and it's simple, single level. You don't have the gains and the breakups and the interest revenue and all those different pieces that come with it. What you're going to do at the bottom of this, you're going to have sort of a subtotal line where it's going to be equal sum. And really what this is just all of your, now, the negative to this is, let's say you do all of a sudden have more expenses and you have to add to this. It's going to make it a little more awkward. We have to actually remember to change the formulas too, type of a thing. And we'll put this in summation form already, but it's just one number. Okay, so yeah, here we go. Okay, here's where the drama sort of happens now. What you're looking at here is 4,900 in revenue, but 6,300 in expenses. So right away, the light bulb should go off that says this is a net loss. The left-hand side is for net income. Well, here, let's enter our conditional tests like we did before. If expenses are less than revenue, then revenue minus expenses, otherwise zero. Well, we can tell 6,300 is certainly not going to be less than 49, so a zero was in there, because if this was 2,000, what would happen? See, 2,900. Control Z. Okay, so that little bit of logic works in there. I wish it worked as smoothly for the balance sheet, but we're not. It's not working. Hey, I'll say it like this: it's not working as robustly for the balance sheet as does for the income statement. But that's just sort of what it is. The next piece of this, for a loss, it says if revenue less than expenses, comma, expenses minus, and this is where your flexibility comes in. Okay, where you're going to take expenses and to keep that a positive number, because everybody knows that 4,900 minus 6,300 is a loss. and it's a negative, whatever it is, 1400, whatever the number is. So, but we're going to do the computation to keep that number positive, and you'll see why. Because you're saying equals sum of your subtotal and then your net income or loss number. Okay. See that now they balance? These are just the summations of the subtotals and then your conditional. This conditional controls where you put the net income and how you compute, just computing it in a way where we're consistent with the book, which, we're painting a picture as we always do with this material, with this work. We're always painting a picture with this stuff. Okay. So you have all that. That's 6,300. You have both the income statement numbers in there. And now we're getting a little long in the tooth here with this. So here's what we're going to do. Those were up enough. Watch what we're going to do here. We're going to put the cursor there. We're going to go to View. We're going to go to Freeze Panes. We're going to freeze the panes. See how there's a horizontal and a vertical line? The AT12 or in the cell that touch AT12. Watch what happens as I move the arrows to the right. See, it keeps the titles. It doesn't move the. You don't lose the. It cuts off what you don't need. It keeps all the titles for the rows, but you can move the column. So for cash now again, everything that's not in the income statement is going to be in the balance sheet more or less. Receivables, supplies, prepaid, equipment, notes payable, accounts payable, owner's capital, drawings, okay, and that's it. All right, we don't, because I'll show you how to put the net income basically is like the equity statement entry, but we didn't need that right now. And I'm looking to see if there's anything else. There may be, there may be some other stuff here. Accumulated, accumulated depreciation. And and an interest payable that's due. Okay. Oops. Okay, there it is. There's your balance sheet, and what you can do. How'd we do this? Yeah, we did specifics again, but okay, we'll do that ourselves one more time. Equal sum comma, just where there's numbers. Just all the debits for the balance sheet. Yeah, 72,400, so we're good. Equals sum, just checking as we go. Everything on the credit side. Oh, so all that stuff's on the credit side. There you go. Okay. Now, at this point, you can just because it's a little awkward to work with it like that. Only have the panes frozen when you need them, type of a thing. Okay. So you have all that. Now you're at the bottom here. Now you have to do more thinking about this. We're dealing with a loss. So all of this logic is going to be reversed from the net income because now you're adding to the debit side as opposed to adding to the credit side. So here, let's just slide over to what we had previously and let's look. So when you have a net income, your debit side is bigger than your credit side. So you got to fill in on the credit side. Here, credit side is bigger than debit side. So you have to fill in on the debit side. So you can do it like this. You can say equals if parenthesis. If credit bigger than debit. You could redo the computation, or you can just sort of pick that off if you want to do it like that. Otherwise, 0, right? And then watch the equal sum, right? Like that 72,800, which is what, and which again, obviously this is going to be 0 because this is not an income. This is a loss, right? This is net loss side. So you can say, how do we do this? Those two. So I want the logic to be the same. So we'll say if parenthesis, if the debit side or the credit side is less than the debit side, you're going to pick net income, otherwise 0. And that one happens to be 0. So yeah, so don't you could recompute it, but you don't have to. It makes the conditional more complicated. Yeah, and there you go. But like I said, spend a little time on these conditions, and I'll leave them. I'll let it sit there so you can see. It's not in the book or anything like that. Okay, so I'm concocting these just from my vast experience in computer science and mathematics, and trying to give you the best lessons we can in the time we have with you. So when you go into the world, you know what you're doing, and I'll tell you, we live in a world of so much of this, apply online and all these other things that are going on, and it's getting lost that you have to know the surest way to employment, the surest way to a good career, the surest way to making lots of money is what you're doing, what you're saying, and you communicate that the right way. That last, I can't stress that little last sentence. It's not an accident that the dean of the business school is a marketing person. Okay, because the reason that person has to have a background like that is that person's going to communicate to the public and to the potential customer, so to speak, what we're doing, and communicate in a way where it's appealing to people, not fooling people, but where it's appealing. And that's true of anything, investment management, legal services, banking services, insurance services. You can have the best idea, the best methods, the best software, the best product, the best service, but if it's not communicated in a way that resonates with people, I don't sit there say right or wrong, but someone's going to say, hey, I can relate to what that guy is saying, and that's the whole story. Okay, and you got to be comfortable doing that. Okay, so while I'm letting this hover a bit. I've learned to slow myself down a bit with these videos because there's no one stopping me. I'm just here in front of the computer just talking, so I'm just going to go and go and go. I got to realize you guys aren't as fast as I've done this before, and I've got the answers here. So, we want you to see. So again, if the credit side is less than, which is not here, then it's net income, and you take the. So if this condition is true, you take the first choice. If it's false, you take the second choice. So it's 73 is not less than 72, so you're taking the second choice. Okay. So there you go. There's your worksheet. But still, we have a long way to go still. But I'm just saying, don't worry about reversing entries. This sort of spills. I have so much real estate when I make these models. This is the next thing. And again, I've taught accounting too here. I don't think we're going to hit reversing entries in this course. It's a finance and accounting course, basically. It's not going to be that. So yeah, but that just spilled over a bit. So I apologize for my tree growing in my neighbor's yard with this pretty much. Okay, we have closing entries, which we'll get to. Balance sheet is here. Okay, that we have. Where is income statement? There's balance sheet, which is right there. The closing entries we're going to deal with. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do closing, not the reversing entries. Yeah, I guess it didn't. It doesn't look like it asked for the income statement. Okay. I thought we had that in there. I guess not. Folks, just give me a second to make sure what we're doing here. The balance sheet, okay, that we have. We have the income statement. It was what the tax would asks of us. Okay, just balance sheet. Okay. We could have done an income statement too for that. That wouldn't have been, we have the technical skill to do it. So maybe I might just drop one at the bottom of this. I don't know why we didn't do that. And the balance sheet is a little more complicated also. Yeah, so here, I'm just gonna grab that. I don't like I said, it's bothering me that we don't have it. We should have it. So here, and even is there an equity statement too? Yeah, we could have done all that. So for some reason, so here, I'm working in my, that's why the font is a bit smaller. I'm working in here, let me just, edge up the font just a bit so you can see what's going on. But yeah, I mean, so here, just to show you a little bit better as to how I do everything. Here's Watson, copy and paste it, income statement. All good. So see, you got to make the specific changes. August 31. Okay. And this is going to go by really quickly. So you just kind of run up here, income statement, service revenues are right there. I think we have everything here. Yeah, supplies. Where's my supply? Depreciation expense is here. 900. Insurance expense, 200. Salary and wages, 3,200. I don't think we have. Do we have rent? Yeah, we have utilities, not rent. It seems. So we could just knock that one out. And like I said, don't go bananas with stuff like this. Utilities expense, 800. Oh, we have advertising too, which needs to be in here. Interest expense. There's a lot of expenses with this one. Right there, 500. So yeah, we're at 59. Yeah, and rent would be, or advertising would be another 400. So yeah, we need to throw another one in there. So let's do that. So we can take this, just sort of move it out of the way for a second. What do you call it? The centering sort of will delay you a bit. So you have to be careful of sort of how you deal with that. There's advertising expense. I don't think, did we get by luck? Did we copy and paste? Oh, it just moved down with us. That was just fortune. So yeah, there's your 6,300. There's your 11,200. Okay. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to pick this up and just drop it in where class notes are, which is here. Yeah. Now I'm just going to do that one more time if you could bear with me. And it's a bit tedious once you've seen it a few times, but like I said, we just got to knock this out. That's 49, which is right there. There's your service revenue. Expense. Depreciation expense. Insurance expense. Salary and wage. 200. Utilities. Advertising. Right there. Okay. Interest. Okay. There's your income or loss. Oh, and actually, what we should have done here, and I just noticed it, and we're going to tediously go through. There's a streamlined way to do this, but these are all expenses. These all should be negative. Right. Yeah, now you're at a loss. Yeah, this is sorry, I'm saving it on one of the few times right in class I'm usually saying to myself, oh, I don't have my master file here, but here my master file is right in front of us. So for the next time, we'll set with this. And here again, just forgive me for the pace of it, but right, see if it's F2 negative, right? And again, if you look at all these numbers go back to the expense sheet. This is all TUT. These are the auditing arrows. is what these things are. Okay, so yeah, I see all the expenses are this income statement. All the expenses are accounted for. All 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 7 of them are accounted for. Okay, so there you go. There's your income statement. And to get rid of them, Alt TUA, just get rid of the hours. Make sure you save this. I'm saving it for you guys as we go, so I don't accidentally we're doing all this work on the video. It vanishes on us at some point, which we don't want. And then Watson advertising is right there. And again, make sure for month ending. I mean, you can just at this point you just copy this. These are all okay in there. Okay, and then you take this copy, and you're going to float back into your. This is the in-class sheet, and we're going to get back to this. So, and what we need here is, we were sort of jamming everything into this piece here, and I didn't want that, right? We want it to be, we want to understand sort of what, we want to see where everything comes from. So the capital here is going to come from our capital computations here, which we're going to work on right now, and also you have to remember. Right, you got to remember all the capital pieces here. Okay, the ending dates and all this stuff here. Okay, so there you go. So now right away, this just comes from that. Okay, that's all that is. We could do this. This could be a 0 investment and make the font in that blue, make that black font, and you can say equals at 60 or whatever it is, the 30, 40, what is it, 60, cap 30. So you sort of started with that, okay? And the formula is already in here. You just summed investments and income. You summed the initial capital and income changes in investment. The drawings equals negative. That's just the drawing number. Let's find that what that is. That is 1,000. Okay, so there's almost capital 27,600. Make that yellow. There's the formulas for that. And here, let me go through all the formulas again. This 30 comes from up top. Okay, this 30 comes from up here. There's your 30,000. Owner's capital. You didn't add, again, it's telling a story. You didn't add any capital. The company that you're operating is at a loss, so you got to pay out of your bank account the expenses. So you're at a $1,400 loss. So you add your investments and net income, or subtract out the loss. You take the initial capital plus the current numbers, which are here. You have a drawing that comes out at 1,000. That's just share repurchase or the dividend, and then this piece here is the owner's capital on August 31. Okay, and then all you do up here, instead of having to recompute all that in that one line, you just set that equal to that, and you've already begun constructing your balance sheet, which is what the whole point of this exercise was to construct the balance sheet. Okay, save that. Yeah, I did it here, but okay, let's do it. Here's the 30, I suppose. There, there's the 30, which is right there. Making the font black. That's 0. There's the blue one there. This is the net income loss. Those are added up. Those are added up, and you're just left with the drawing number equals negative. Okay, is 1,000, and there's your 26. There's your loss of 14. We're 27. Yeah, 27,600. Yeah, we did all the math here, but we're just checking to make sure that we have that. That's all well and good. Okay. All right. Save that. Reduce the size a bit. Okay, get this thing out of the way. And let's get our balance sheet worked on, get our closing statements worked on, all of that. Okay. And we're here, the balance sheet. And what do? We said, yeah, we added everything up. So we had a working column here. Cash was 54. It was right there. That was cash 54. Yeah, so it's a little awkward. I probably should have designed this a bit better. 28 receivables. Okay, there's 28 receivables in there. Supplies. You're going to come across with supplies. 1,000. Prepaid insurance. 22. Right. Clear out the shading, and this is just equal to sum. And there's no negatives in this part of it, or very few negatives in the balance sheet. There's total current assets. Okay, so you have that. And yeah, and again, it's a little more of a sophisticated balance sheet now, right? You're going to take equipment. You're never writing those down. And the reason is you want the investors to know what you've invested in the company. So that's why you have the contra account, which is here. Okay, that's your contra account, which is right there. Equals sum. Okay, so we have that. So there's your accumulated. So it shows what we've written down, and this is just simply adding that up. 70,500. Okay. We had notes that said 5,000 of the notes payable were short term. We had a note that said that. We have an account payable. $24. You have an interest payable. $500. This equals sum 900. All right, and then the rest of this, we can do it like this. Just find your note payable from your balance sheet. That's 40,000 minus that 5, and we want to refer to everything. Okay, there's your 35,000. There you go. So your total liability equals this plus that. Equals this and that one. There you go. Okay. There's your balance sheet. The balances, assets, liabilities, and equity. And again, I always make the joke, this is why you pay me, kind of a joke. And it's true. Okay, there you go. Oh, I just noticed something. These are all 10s somehow. These have got to be all 8s, right? Because it's August. How that happened. And it's good though, because I can go right away to my model, my master file here, and flip those all to August. Okay. So we have that. And now we have to do our closeout. And we're getting close to the finish line here. Close revenues to income summary, close expenses to income summary, close income summary to owner's capital, drawings owner's capital. So it's all pointed to what bank account all this is going into. That's really what this all points to. So yeah. So again, you do have the answers to all this stuff. So I didn't spend too much time sort of hovering over everything. So you do have this liability equity section. Okay, this is the asset section. And again, all of this comes from the worksheet balance sheet, all of it. Now, I didn't do them all, but there they go. It's most of them. It's the asset, and everything else is liability and equity. So we didn't account for every single piece here, but that's what all this other stuff is. Some of these are liabilities. That's interest payable, accounts payable, notes payable. Okay. Capital, the drawings. Okay, we can see it all relates down. It all comes down to this. And like I said, I get a lot of good comments that people like those arrows. So I try to utilize them as much. I mean, who wouldn't like all those arrows, right? Because it shows you what's going on. Okay, you can save as you go. Okay, and just remember the word August. And now we're going to do the closeout here. And what you're going to keep in mind is the following. You're so used to revenues, the normal balance is credit. Well, here, what you're going to do, and you're going to use the adjusted trial balance, you're going to recognize your revenue, your service revenue from the adjusted trial balance is what you're going to do. And you're going to recognize on the debit side. Okay, so your income summary is on the credit side, and you'll see at the end why that's useful. Yeah, those just equal. All your expenses are usually on the debit side. Now they're going to run down the credit side. Okay, equal supply. Now this again, it's a little on the tedious side, but hey, who said accounting wasn't that way? Okay, here's your supply expenses 300, and yeah, I think I entered these. That's why they're all blue. The font's all blue every time. Oops. And you have the reference numbers all next to it, so that's all helping you. Depreciation expense 900. Insurance expense 200. Salary and wage 3,200. Utilities expense 800. Interest expense 500. Right. Advertising expense, last one I think. Yeah, 400. And then what you do, you slide up to income summary and you sum everything. And that should be 6,300. Yeah. Okay, 6,300. So now what you're looking at, and this is how you deal with the bookkeeping for a loss here. Your capital piece here, this is equal to 63. Right here, we could even do it like this. Equals 63 minus 49. But it's a loss, so it's opposite. The orientation of this is how you recognize a capital loss. Oops. That's how you recognize a capital loss. Okay, so and we're going to slide over to Pioneer again. If you look at Pioneer, income is debit and capital is credit. Let's find it. Right? These are flipped. Okay, income is debit, capital is credit. And here, it's the reverse. Capital, yeah, see, capital is credit, income is debit, or capital is debit, income is credit. The closing at loss. Okay. And our last bit of this, and don't sum stuff at the bottom or anything like that. Drawing, and this, this comes out of drawings, whatever was 1,000 or something like that. You're there. Okay. And this equals this. To make sure I did it the right way. Yeah. Okay. I think from the technical point of view, I think we just hit it all. I think we're not doing reverses or any of those kinds of things. So this one went a little bit quicker. Okay, so again, so you had a little bit of background in seeing this. This is a loss version of these worksheets, and you have the answers. You have to sit in front of Excel. Like I said, it's and see with you guys, that's all you have to do is sit in front of Excel with the online guys. The in-class folks, you get a little uh, the in-class folks, you come to class, we're talking about this and talking about that. But the online folks, you have to sit because that's your only way to learn. And it's making you do the healthiest thing for this type of work is to sit in front of Excel and to really work it. Okay. All right. We'll see. I mean, we have this. I'll give you some assignments. There's some self-test questions here. There's some questions here. You may want to work on some of these, and I'll dream up some assignments for you guys for the online section. And in the next few days, we'll give you assignment number 2, and we'll tell you what worksheet examples we want you to work on. Okay, so folks, please watch the video. And I always appreciate your time and attention, and all the emails. I have all the emails, and I already got a couple assignments handed in to me. I think it's the 5th. We said it was due Friday. The assignment number 1. I think we said it was the 5th, not the 1st. So Italian's very superstitious. I've never do that on the 1st. So, all right, let me post this for you guys on Blackboard, and I could even send it out as an email attachment for the couple people who are struggling with the email. But there was a little bit of an issue. I think somebody was a day student in here and became an online student, and the email didn't change, or I think there's a few people with a couple emails in this section. So we're going to use email to back everything up. So let me get the URL for the video, and we'll email that out to you in a few minutes. We'll get the PowerPoint up. I mean the Excel posted on Blackboard, and we'll have you going for the week, watching these videos. But folks, the net present value chapter is probably the hardest chapter to deal with for the online section. So we did that first. So I want to give you the most amount of time. But we have chapter 4 that we're going to look at in accounting. We have the chapter 8, the cash and the internal control. We're going to work on some of that stuff. So it's all going to be assignments. And at the end, we'll see. We'll try to have something like a final exam. Like I said, I always try to make it different every time I've done a lot of online courses. I've always made it different every single time. So, you could talk to other people about assignments this and assignments that, but I change everything all the time. And it's not to short circuit you learning side. It's just my interest and what you asked me. I designed these courses based on a lot of the things you asked me, believe it or not. Okay, so all right, let's shut this all down. Okay, again, folks, it's always fantastic spending time with you. Please, watch these videos. Take the time with the Excel work. That's the best thing for you for your careers. And I'll be seeing you soon. Okay, so have a good week. Take care.